The lobby clock clicked over to 12 a.m. with a hollow sound that echoed far louder than it should have. I was alone behind the reception desk, the only light coming from the flickering lamps above and the green glow of the security monitor. The hotel was old, older than the city around it, and everyone who worked here knew the night shift wasn't just quiet. It was watchful. I had been warned on my first day. Don't leave the desk after midnight. Don't answer calls from empty rooms. And if someone asks for a key to room 307, tell them the room is unavailable. No explanations were given, only uneasy looks and nervous laughs. I told myself it was just a way to scare new employees. That belief lasted exactly one night. At 12:17 a.m., the front doors slid open on their own. No wind, no sound, just the slow mechanical whisper of glass parting. A man stepped inside, tall and thin, wearing an old-fashioned bellboy uniform. The fabric looked soaked, darker at the edges, as if it had been dragged through water. "Good evening," he said, his voice soft but strained. "I'm here for my shift." I swallowed. "Sir, the bell staff ended their shifts at 10. He smiled, revealing teeth that were too white against his pale face. "Not my shift." Before I could respond, the lights flickered. When they steadied, the man was gone. The doors were closed. The security monitor showed nothing but static for a brief second before returning to normal. I laughed nervously, blaming exhaustion. Then the phone rang. I jumped. The caller ID displayed room 412. "Front desk." I answered. There was breathing on the other end. Slow, wet, like someone struggling to inhale. "Please," a woman whispered, "he's standing in the hallway." My fingers tightened around the receiver. "Ma'am, what's happening in your room?" Silence. Then a click. The line went dead. I checked the system. Room 412 was vacant. It had been vacant for years. I tried to distract myself, scrolling through old incident reports stored on the computer. Most were mundane: noise complaints, lost keys, minor repairs. Then I found one marked confidential. It described a fire that had occurred decades ago, started in the laundry room. Guests had been trapped on the upper floors. Staff members tried to help, but the smoke spread too fast. The last listed casualty was a receptionist who refused to leave her desk, continuing to answer calls as the building burned. The phone rang again. This time it was room 307. My stomach dropped. I stared at the blinking light, remembering the warning. Slowly, I picked up. "Front desk," I whispered. "You said you'd send help," a man's voice growled. "They're all burning." A loud bang echoed through the receiver, followed by screaming. I slammed the phone down, my heart pounding so hard it hurt. From the corner of my eye, I saw movement. A figure stood at the far end of the lobby, near the elevators. A woman in a scorched uniform. Her hair was matted with ash, her skin cracked and blackened. She pointed at me. The elevator dinged behind her. The doors opened, revealing darkness instead of the usual mirrored walls. One by one, more figures stepped out. Men, women, children. Their clothes were burned, their faces frozen in expressions of terror. Smoke poured from their mouths and eyes as they moved closer. I backed away from the desk, shaking my head. "This isn't real," I whispered. "This isn't real." The burned receptionist reached the desk and placed her charred hand on the counter. The surface hissed where she touched it. "You left," she said, her voice echoing like it came from deep inside the walls. "You all leave. But the desk must never be empty." The lights went out. In the darkness, the phones began to ring. Every single one. A chorus of desperate cries filled the lobby, overlapping and screaming for help that would never come. When the lights returned, the lobby was empty again. No figures. No smoke. Just me, shaking behind the desk. I checked the clock. 3:59 a.m. At exactly 4 o'clock, the doors opened again. A young man walked in, wearing a hoodie and carrying a backpack. He looked tired, annoyed. "Hey," he said, "I'm here to check in." Relief washed over me. A real guest. Proof that I wasn't losing my mind. "Of course," I said, forcing a smile. "May I have your name?" As I typed it in, I noticed something wrong. His reflection in the polished desk surface didn't match his movements. It lagged, smiling when he wasn't. "Which room?" he asked. I hesitated. The system assigned him room 307 automatically. "I'm sorry," I said quickly, "that room is unavailable." His expression changed instantly. His eyes darkened, and his smile stretched too wide. "Everyone ends up in 307, he said softly. The lights flickered again. When they steadied, the man was gone. The system showed him as checked in. Occupied. Room 307. A burning smell filled the air. The fire alarm began to ring. I ran for the doors, but they wouldn't open. The heat rose fast, choking and thick. The phones rang again, louder this time, begging, screaming, accusing. Through the smoke, I saw the burned receptionist watching me. She nodded once. Understanding hit me like a wave of ice. The night shift never ends. Someone must always stay. As the flames closed in, I returned to the desk, picked up the ringing phone, and answered. "Front desk," I said calmly. "How may I help you?"